Hello guys. My name is Liam and my wife's name is Arya and I live in Los Angeles today. I will share with you the most horrible incidents of my life. This incident just happened because of my wife and she ruined all the happiness of my life. 3 years have passed since this incident. But the bad effects of this incident affected my personality so much that even today, I could not forget my wife's infidelity. If you like my story, then like my video and subscribe to my channel. I belong to a simple family. My father was a farmer and my mother died when I was a child. My father remarried and my stepmother raised me, but she was very good. She made me, one of her sons raised me with great love. She loved me the most and never made me miss my real mom. I lived a very simple life since my childhood and all the comforts of life for king in my life. I did not belong to a rich family. So I worked hard since my childhood to get all the comforts of my life. From my college days, I started doing part-time jobs. Along with my studies, my dad used to work hard for all my comforts and I used to support him a lot so that we could live a good life. My father worked very hard for my good education and we got to the point where we started to lead a better life. After completing my college, I started a small business to start this business. My father helped me and gave me all the savings so I can invest in my business. My father is the king and my mother is the queen of my life who have worked so hard to make my life easy and I can never repay them for their favors. My father has helped me a lot for my business and he entrusted all the wealth of his life to me for my happiness. Thanks to my good fortune and the prayers of my parents, my business seemed to be doing very well and my business was growing day by day. I had reached a point in life where I could get all the comforts of life that I needed. Everything I used to miss in my life was there for me and I could buy everything in life. It took me 5 years to take my business to the sky. In those 5 years, I worked day and night. I used to work so hard. I did not come back home for months and I had to go to other cities to expand the business. My parents were very ecstatic with my progress. Their happiness knew no bounds when they saw me so successful. And why would they be unhappy? They had worked so hard to make me successful, all their efforts after which I became a successful person today and was living a prosperous life. Now, I wanted to repay all of their favors that they did for me. I wanted to give them all the happiness and comforts of life. When I became so successful in my life, my father wanted me to marry a good girl, but I did not like any girl. Since my childhood, I had only one goal, that I have to work hard and become a successful person. And after hard work, I achieved it. But now my parents wanted me to get married. One night, I was sitting in the living room, I was doing some work related to my business. When my stepmother knocked on the door, I said, "Come in." She enters and sits near to me. She was watching me while doing work with great mother love. When I finished my work and asked my mom, "Why have you come in my room? Maybe you have come to talk to me for some deep purpose." My mother started laughing and said to me, "Yes, I have come here to talk to you about a very important matter. And even today, you can recognize from my eyes for what purpose I'm going to talk to you." I replied to her, "Yes, I understand what you want to talk to me. You want me to get married and that's what you came to talk to me about." She said, "Yes, you understood correctly. I have come to you for this purpose." My mother told me that today I had to visit her sister for many years later. She had a beautiful daughter and her name is last time when I visited her, she was very young. She was very beautiful in her childhood and also beautiful in her youth. I want to marry her and I believe that she would take care of you a lot and you can live great life. I love my parents very much and I never disobeyed them. I had done what I wanted to achieve in life and was living a prosperous life. And now I was needed to marry a good girl. My mother told me that if you like another girl, then there's no force on you. You can marry her, your happiness and desire is more important for us. And if you don't have any other girl in your life, then I want you to marry her. She's a very nice girl. She has all the qualities that I am sure she will take care of you and you both will love each other very much. I replied, no, I don't have any girl in my life and for me, your happiness is more important than anything else. And I don't mind marrying anyone. Hearing my answer, my mother was very happy and happily hugged me and said you should meet this girl so you both can like each other. I went to meet this girl the following week at my mother's strong insistence. I had a very important business meeting that day, which I cancelled so I could meet the girl my mother had chosen for me. When I arrived at the house to pick her up, the door was opened by her mother. She seated me in the drawing room with great dignity and respect and activating for a few minutes. She came down the stairs and met me. She was really beautiful in appearance. As my mother had told me, I liked her so much for the first time here that I forgot everything and kept looking at her because she looked so cute. At first, I had planned to talk to A for an hour to understand her and to go to my office. But when I saw A, I liked her so much that I decided to spend the whole day with her. I picked her up from her house and we went to a very nice restaurant nearby. We did not talk the whole day in the first meeting. I was hesitant to talk to her. But when she sat in the restaurant and ate and after we slowly started talking to each other, Arya told me many things about herself, like where she got her education, her hobbies and also about her nature. She told me a lot. She's a very good girl in regards of her manner from the way she talked. It was clear that she is also a very well-educated girl in terms of morals. Then I also told her everything about me from my childhood. I told her everything till today, how I started this business after hard work. And today I have all the comforts of life. I love talking and spending time with her. Arya also loved my company. I usually don't talk to anyone in particular, but I did not feel the time with Arya. I started loving her. In very first meeting, I had decided that I would marry her. Now there is waiting for her answer was whether she liked me or not. But I neither told her that I liked her nor asked her if she liked me or not because I just wanted to spend some time with her. So we decided to meet again next week. When I came back home, my mother asked me about A. Do you like her or not? I replied that yes, I like her very much and I will marry her next week. When we met, we had an even more beautiful time together because we understood each other to a great extent and became friends. So this time, we had a lot to talk about. I felt that she also started loving me and would marry me. Then I proposed to her in a very beautiful way and asked if she would like to marry me, on which A said yes. And she was very happy. We decided to get married next month. My parents were very happy and their happiness was very important to me. All the preparations for the wedding were done by my mother. I felt like my mother was very happy about my wedding more than me. Next month, we got married in church in a very beautiful and simple way. After marriage, we both went on honeymoon. We had a wonderful time there. Probably the most beautiful time of my life. I spent with A. When we came back from our honeymoon, I bought a separate house on Arya's insistence because she did not want to live with my parents, while I always lived with my parents because I loved her so much. I agreed to her insistence. My parents also liked A's decision and then I started living in a separate house, but I did not want to leave my parents alone, so that I bought a new house near my parents' house so I could meet them regularly. I did not like A's decision of a separate house, but because I loved her, I accepted her decision and she just wanted that we live separate where we can live happily and not anyone disturb our privacy. But it did not mean that she did not respect my parents, but she loved and respected my parents more than me. And this brought me close to her. Before I just liked her. But after marriage, I started loving her a lot because of some of her qualities. The first 3 years of marriage were very beautiful. Our love was growing with each passing day and she take care of me a lot. And I also loved her very much. I would fulfill her every objection and she would obey me every day. Passing by with her was becoming the most beautiful day of my life. Arya spent the most beautiful years of our marriage and spent as a housewife. But one night when we were sitting on our bed in our room and talking, said to me that she was very at home all day. After when I left home, Arya wanted to go to the office with me and help me in my work. It was a random find. Arya started coming to my office with me first. I thought it was just a hobby of hers to come and work with me. But later she was working with me very seriously. And I also liked her work very much. He used to come to office with me every day and come back home with me. And sometimes if she felt like it, she would go home early. She understood my work very quickly and helped me very well. She took care of a lot of my work. Arya was a very intelligent girl. She reduced my workload a lot and I was feeling very relaxed with her coming. I got too much help because of her. I would consult her before doing something new. Arya was taking my work very seriously and gave me a good advice. Every time I followed her advice and my work proved to be right every time and I got success in it. Life seemed so beautiful. Every moment spent with Arya was beautiful. My decision to marry Arya was proved very right. I began to consider Arya's presence in my life as a blessing. I got all happiness of my life from her. I started to feel that if she was not in my life, I would never be able to feel so happy and satisfied. But my happiness did not last long. We thought of recruiting some new employees in our company because the work burden has become too much now to reduce it. We needed some more people to come and work in our company. She took over the responsibility of hiring new employees with her wisdom. She recruited every good new employees to our company. Within a few days, they were 5 people, including 3 girls and 2 boys, and we entrusted them with the office work. Our work was going to be very veil one boy whose name was John. Out of that 5 interviews, A insisted him to hire, showing the person was not qualified for the job, but A wanted to hire him. She would have been given such a big position. I could not doubt her intelligence. So I would agree. But I was surprised at Arya's attitude. That guy belonged to the same college where my wife studied also. So I thought it may be the reason for her insistence. But by coming of this person, all the happiness of my life was ending one by one. A very surprised thing that bothered me. John used to remain near to my wife. Their attitude with one another is just like that. They both known each other. Before one day I suddenly entered in my wife's office, I saw John was standing very near to my wife. When my wife saw me in her office, she made me feel that John was near to me to talk about work. Troubleshooting can be seen on her face easily. My wife's behavior had changed a lot. She was not working very seriously and not paying much attention to work. I thought maybe she was tired from working. So I advised her to take rest for some days at home, but I never felt like she was cheating on me. I also ignored that office incident. But considering it my misconception, it wasn't run so long after all this. The trip came before my eyes. My wife could not cheat on me for a long time. And I caught her red-handed. My wife was not going to the office these days. One day, my physical condition was not good enough. Then I came home soon. When I entered my house, I heard some sounds from my wife's room. I slowly went near to my wife's room and I became sure that there was another person other than my wife in the room. I opened the door of the room and what I saw, my eyes were broken and I am shocked to see that my wife and that boy John laying on the bed. I decided to divorce my wife after her infidelity. My wife apologized to me and told me that this guy used to study her in her college and they were very much in love with each other. But when the time came for marriage, he left her. But my wife loved him today and cannot control herself to not attract towards him. I'm going to hate my wife, and without wasting time I divorced her. But that boy John not married her after our divorce. And by this way, my wife get punishment for her infidelity. Now I used to live with my parents and their love is enough for me. I don't want any girl in my life. But all the time I spent with Arya made my beautiful moments that I never forgot.